All right, excited to welcome back President and General Manager Todd Dunivant, back by popular demand, my demand.
All the other guests dropped out, and I was the fill-in.
Yeah, exactly.
Yep.
A lot of things to talk about. I feel we've had you on a lot lately because there's been so much going on. We've got stadium, obviously, and we'll get to some of that a little bit. But we haven't really got a chance to talk about. We had the player news that came out this week. Obviously, the Mark Briggs news that came out a couple weeks ago, and then got the stadium news right after. So we didn't have a chance to talk about that. But wanted to kind of ask and give us the thoughts behind that decision of not bringing back Mark Briggs and kind of the reason behind it. And I'm sure not an easy decision because of he was here for 5 years.
Yeah, we accomplished so much with Mark, and I'm thankful for him, for his time here, for, obviously our Open Cup run was incredible in 2022, and last year we went all the way to the conference finals, won the West. So, we accomplished a lot, and that will never be taken away. And I think, we've ultimately felt it was time, for a fresh voice and fresh ideas. This year didn't go the way we wanted. It certainly started the way we wanted. I think 13 games unbeaten, another Open Cup run all the way to the quarterfinals, gave Seattle everything they wanted. But really, you look at the last, middle third and the last third of the season, and we were sub 500. And, with a roster that we felt was strong and certainly capable of winning the title. Same core group we've kind of developed, and so ultimately when you look at the body of work this last year, it went the wrong way, and then we've kind of looked at the last 5 years and our record in the playoffs, and ultimately not getting to where we want to get. Ultimately, we want to be doing this and going up, trajecting up as the season goes on, and in the most critical time, and we fell short. So felt like it's time for a good time to refresh, and but so thankful for Mark and all of his time. I continue to have a good relationship and always will with him. And certainly know he's going to go on to do great things.
Yeah, totally. And he's definitely ingrained in Republic history for many reasons, as you mentioned. We've had this podcast 5-ish years, since 20, I don't know, however long, 4 years, I guess. Maybe 5 years. I'd have to go back and look at that. We've never gone through a coaching search, so I've never had the chance to ask you some of these questions. You're busy at this time of year normally because of your recruiting players, talking to agents, all that. And now you're also going through the coaching process, finding a replacement coach. What is that process been like?
We're building a stadium too,
Oh yeah, sorry, I forgot to mention
that.
Too. To give myself credit, I have been like, hey Todd, are you doing okay with all this stuff? Off the record, I have asked that.
Good to check in.
Just a little thing, no
like
big deal.
Buddy system sort of thing. But I do appreciate it.
Yeah. Well, my first question is, nobody has reached back out to me for a follow-up interview on my coaching application.
We threw it in the trash right away. So that was quick. Sorry, we'll tell you we threw it in the trash.
Yeah,
I'll tell you here.
No, that's
for
good.
Everybody to hear.
At least I got an email response of "you're not considered" would have been nice. No, I'm kidding. But what's the process? Yeah,
good feedback.
Thank you. What's the process been like? How I'm sure that's a different process than we've had to do in a little while. What has it been like for you so far?
Yeah, honestly, it's been a great process. We've had so many quality coaches reach out. It's humbling, honestly, because it's such a good response, and I think we're excited because we have some great options. We wanted to make the change as quickly as possible so we could get into this. We obviously knew, coming off the back of that, we were going to have a stadium announcement, and needing to do that. So really, it's been the last, kind of week and a half that I've been, focused on it and really engaged on it, and it's been fantastic. We have some great coaches. We are going to get a great coach. It's hard to narrow it down at this point because we have such quality, different walks of life, different situations that they're currently in, but high quality, good coaches, and it's exciting for me and very invigorating.
Is there a specific type of coach that you're looking for, or is it kind of just evaluating the prospects that you're seeing?
Yeah, we're going to get a coach that knows the game in this country. I think that's important. There's an unlimited market of worldwide coaches. That's not our focus. Our focus is on somebody who has experience and knows the game in this country, because it's a unique beast. The travel, the conditions, all the different things, that you don't deal with in most countries, you have to deal with here. We have every type of climate. We have altitude. We've got, turf. We've got baseball fields. We've got travel, multiple legs. I mean, it's a different beast. And so I think for me and for our club, it's important to have somebody who already kind of knows that, appreciates that, and knows how to take advantage of that.
I think it's very interesting too to see as we go forward, right? We know the group of guys that are returning, guys that aren't coming back next year. We'll talk about that in a bit. But how do you weigh knowing that, okay, we need to bring in new guys, but in the past you've had a coach to kind of use their system. Okay, we need to fill out in this spot, this spot, this spot. I mean, the general spots that you need to fill out, but how do you kind of approach that, recruiting new players, trying to sign new players without having a coach at this present time?
Yeah, I'm not moving with lightning speed on purpose. I think trying to take it all in. I mean, we've kind of identified our needs, and it's fortunately we have a great core of players. Really happy about the players that are returning. So we don't have it's not tear it up and start over again. I think the idea is to enhance what we already have, fill some gaps, and get better. And I think not knowing the coach yet presents some challenges. I love working collaboratively with the coach so that we both are on the same page, that we're both in lockstep in terms of each signing and ultimately what we're trying to achieve. And so not having that, is a little tough. I think not knowing, necessarily what we're going to have in terms of formations or different things presents a little bit of a challenge. But I think at the end of the day, we're very clear on who we are as a club, the profiles we're looking for, the objectives we're trying to achieve, and our values. So none of that changes with who we're going to hire. And I think from that standpoint, if the right player comes along, which, working through those as we speak, we're not going to be shy about signing them. Mm-hmm. This process also with the coach, don't know how long that's going to take. I mean, would like it to happen tomorrow if possible. It's not going to happen tomorrow. There's still steps that need to happen. There's still diligence that we need to do, and we still got to narrow it down. So, I think can't just, kind of put a moratorium on the players at this point. We want to keep working through everything best we can and leave as much flexibility where possible. But we got to kind of move. The train keeps moving.
Guys we're bringing back. Obviously, we knew a bunch because we had extensions that were announced earlier in the season. Mazzola, Timmer, Pirano, Russell Cerrone, Felipe, Danny Vitiello, a couple others as well. You mentioned bringing the core back. You mentioned a lot of these guys returning who have been vital for where the club has been recently. How important is that to continue that continuity and then kind of continue to kind of fill some small holes rather than big holes?
Yeah, I think it's really important. You don't want to be an expansion team every single season where you're kind of turning over the whole roster and losing.
Don't tell Rhode Island that.
Yeah, that's true. They've done well. No, congrats to them. But it is important. Being able to have identity starting from a little bit further ahead. Yeah. And just we've got great players and a great core. Why tear that up?
Sure.
And I think these guys have earned that, and we're proud that they're wearing our colors again.
When you think about your playing career and the continuity that you had as a player, specifically at the Galaxy, how much does that do you kind of use that as a barometer of what you were wanting for this core group of players in terms of keeping a lot of the guys around, some small changes, not a ton of big changes, but some small changes on the fringes, but keeping the core group together? Is that a factor?
No question. Yeah. I think it's hard to find in pro sports, that type of thing, because it's so easy to, hey, we didn't achieve what we wanted, and so we're going to, tear it up. I think that happens all the time. It's easier, in some ways, but when you look at the big picture, it sets you back. And sometimes it's the right decision. We had to do that after the 21 season where we didn't make the playoffs and felt like it was time to refresh. And that's ultimately what kind of led to this group that we have now and the successes that we've had.
How was the decision-making process for you while you're going through the process of getting the stadium announced with Wilton and Nagel and City? You're also having to make these roster decisions, a lot happening at once. Is that something that you've been evaluating at the end of the season and you kind of had an idea going into those conversations, or was that something you were slowly working? I mean, I know you're really busy right now. So how did you kind of balance that?
Yeah, it is something that, I try to keep work on, and Mark and I had talked throughout the season. It's something that I always do, with our coaches, of sort of planning. My job, their job's to win games every week and ultimately win a championship. My job is to also look out for the long-term vision of the club, and not just for this year, but for next year and beyond. So I'm always keeping an eye on that. I've got, already kind of a outline for, 26.
Oh, really?
You just need to have some of that, and you change things and you can put pieces in different spots, but some of our contracts are multi-year, and so you plug in those guys and you go from there. And then, as things go well, you figure it out. If they don't, you adapt. And so, this is something that I've been working on, that never really stops.
Yeah.
And I think that doesn't mean it's easy.
Sure.
We still, liaise with all the different agents, all the things that come up. And when you're dealing with people, it's just, you're going to get curveballs all the time.
Yeah. How were the decisions for the guys coming back? Obviously a lot of them had pretty solid years. What was that, those initial conversations like? I know that at least a question mark that I had was Russell Cicerone. Excited to see that he is back. A couple of the other key guys, Jared Timmer, who's been really, really good. Felipe, obviously, who's kind of a little bit of a Republic legend now. I'm going to say that because I left him off.
Say it, yeah.
I mean, he is.
He is. He's been huge for us. Longest tenured
I think
player
so.
at this point, yeah.
Well, yes, yeah. If you don't add the pieces together of row.
Yeah. Consecutive term,
Yeah,
I think that's right. I mean, it's he's been great for us. He's on his day, he's the best midfielder in the league. I think what we ran into this year and all the guys you're talking about, we didn't achieve, and we talked about this at the year-end meetings with each of the individuals. We just didn't achieve our best, and I think that was individually, that was collectively, and that was, I think, disappointing for all of us. And so the guys we're bringing back, we believe in. We know that we had some standout guys. Obviously, we had two, that made all league team with Jack and Danny.
Yep.
But we felt like as a collective, we can do a lot better. And what we set out to do at the beginning of the year, what the expectations were, not just by us, but by really every pundit picking us to win everything. I think we underachieved in a big way, and that was the message. I think there's a lot of hunger out there for the guys. By bringing them back, we're showing them that we believe in them, but also, I think the expectation for everybody is that it's got to be better, and we gotta do the business.
So, season ends, and then the stadium announcement comes 5 days later. So obviously, sour note on the end of the season. But you have such exciting news with the stadium, and I want to talk about that. But specifically from the coach, new player perspective, I would imagine there are people who are hearing potential Sacramento. I might go to Sacramento. I might play. I might coach. They're hearing this new stadium stuff too. How much has that buzz kind of trickled into some of those conversations?
It's great. I mean, we got some big names even after the stadium came that we didn't get in the 4 days prior to that.
Connor Sutton was one of them, yeah.
I said big names.
Yeah.
You put it in right away.
Yeah. I actually came and handed it in.
You can't be too eager when you want a job. You got to play a little hard to get. No, it definitely makes a difference. I think for our club, we are looked at, and rightly so, as a flagship in our league and as a great club. Forget league denomination in this country. What has held us back, ultimately is the facilities, the having the a stadium of our own, that our fans can enjoy, that our players come into. It's been great at Heart Health Park. We've made a lot of memories there, but it's always been known to be a temporary thing. It's turned out to be a lot longer than that. Everyone knows the reasons why, but this is what's so exciting about this opportunity. We've taken matters into our own hands. We're not waiting around for anyone. We are doing this. There's no roadblocks in the way. We're charging ahead, and this is different. I think even with the announcement, some fans, some people, pulled me aside and said, we've been through this before. This is different. We've never been to a place where we've had the money, had the land, and had the votes, and we have all three of them now. And our new partners, new owners in Wilton Rancheria, the chairman, Jesus Tarango, CEO Chris Franklin, have been. I mean, you've talked to them. They're incredible.
Awesome.
It is such a incredible group to bring in. Sacramento's lucky. I'm lucky. We're all lucky that they believe in this club, believe in this community. It's a game changer.
I thought I could take that luck to Sky River and do well, and I did not. Did not do well on the blackjack table most recently at Sky River. However, the time before that, I did do well.
There you go.
So
all right.
I don't know if that matters.
The balances, yeah.
All right, so I want to ask a little bit about the reaction that you've heard from various people. I know Wilton Rancheria has gotten a lot of love and a lot, as of course, absolutely they should. But I'm sure you're talking to a lot of people. I've been talking to a lot of people who are like, they finally see this news starting to happen, and more conversations start to happen. I get, not that I go to a lot of parties, but I get pulled aside to, oh man, what's going on? How's the stadium stuff's happening? That's so exciting. What's going on? I'm sure that's happening a ton to you. How much have you gotten reached out to locally from Sacramento?
Yeah, but you can feel the buzz.
Yeah.
I mean, our sales team feels it in the office. You can just feel the energy. It's so exciting. We've been working towards this for a long time. We would have loved to have shouted this out, but it wasn't right. We wanted to essentially deliver an end product, which we've done. And so now the world knows about it. It's refreshing to be able to talk about it.
Sure.
And it's exciting, and it came with a lot of hard work. I want to call out, people behind the scenes here that did that. I mean, Kevin Smith from our team,
Yes.
Michael Thomas, who's been Kevin Nagel's CFO for, a long, long time. Without those guys, this wouldn't have happened. Chris Franklin from the Tribe was unbelievable throughout all of this. There were so many twists and turns and things we just had to work through, and ultimately just got it done. And without them, it doesn't happen. So, yeah, it's exciting. I think the community is completely behind it. And, we're going to have more exciting news to share as things unfold, whether it's renderings, whether it's the greater neighborhood. We're going to have a lot more to share soon.
That's what I was just going to ask. What is the next steps? Last time we talked, it was prior to the city council vote. Obviously, that went very well. But what are the next steps into new stadium world?
We've agreed to all the terms. Now we're, putting pen to paper and finalizing. So everything continues to move in a great way. We're engaged with the architects on final stadium design. I think getting the Tribes, and Wilton Rancheria's input on touches that they want to make and things they want to do. We're doing that now. So all those things are really exciting, and I think it's going to continue to be good energy and good buzz as we get this, over the line.
What are the elements you are most excited for the new stadium? What is it's funny. I mentioned this when we had Chris and Chairman on. You're a quiet watcher during game days. Do you have like a specific spot you're excited to be able to go watch games from as a GM? You're a zoomed out guy. Is that kind of, you're an up top wanting to see the game kind of develop? Is that kind of where you're expecting to watch matches at that new stadium?
Yeah, up in the rafters. That's the best view up high. No, it's great. I think there's going to be a lot of good. Every place is going to be a good viewpoint. I'm just excited for the whole experience, the energy, the atmosphere, the game day of not just coming to the stadium, but coming before, staying after, going to the restaurants and the bars around. That is going to be so fun for our fans, for my family, for people of Sacramento. Like that's going to be really cool.
It's going to be awesome, and I think it's going to be, I would say games are pretty fun now. They're very fun games. Good shot. We've had a lot of really, really good matches at Hard Health Park, but a lot of that has been because of great fans and the product on the field, and we do some other things around it, but having everything kind of tie together, man. Whew.
Can't beat it. You can't
I'm
beat
so
it.
fired up.
That's what's so unique about what we have here at the Rail Yards. It is downtown, and what that'll look like in 10 years, I think will just be absolutely game changing, because it's not just restaurants, bars, retail. It is housing. It is people living there, and what that's done for other cities has just been huge. And so bringing up our downtown in a way like that is massive.
And during the city council vote, one of the things that I thought was incredible as a lover of this club is the Indomitable Ventures was the name, which I'm sure you had a lot to do with that. But that's basically overseeing that entire area. So it's not just the stadium, but it is the development surrounding it. And you mentioned how the plans aren't just the stadium. There is the surrounding area and how exciting. And it's not just one stadium. It's a whole area that basically is getting entertainment district that's getting created, which is next level.
It's next level. I think we have the stadium will be about half of our land. The other half we can develop however we want, and we have some really exciting plans. That hopefully we can share soon. But it is going to be electric, and another great touch point for why this is such a cool project.
All right. Well, I'm fired up. Woof. I mean, I know it's off season. I know it's almost Thanksgiving, times it winds down for everybody except for Todd in terms of ramping into the next season. But I'm excited. Thank you for your leadership, and thanks for joining us once again. Appreciate it.
Anytime. Thanks, Connor.